terms of unlocking the minerals?
Yes.
Yeah, look, one of the major issues that we find is there's an enormous bottleneck between finding the exploration, finding the minerals, finding the resources, and then getting the right capital to take them through from grassroots exploration right through to production. Tanzania is endowed with some amazing mineral resources, and in Australia in particular, we're incredibly bullish about where Tanzania is heading as a market.
Yeah.
The legal framework is fantastic. The infrastructure is very well provided for. And from an investment perspective, it's considered to be one of the better African nations for investment from a sovereign risk perspective. The key for the next step from our perspective is trying to unlock the enormous amount of capital that flows into the ASX and TSX markets, and direct a lot of that capital towards Tanzania. Now, how do we do that? One of the processes that we've built is the Mine Exchange, which is our proprietary platform, which is the world's largest database of transactable mining assets.
Right.
What it enables you to do is it enables you as an owner or an agent to list your projects onto our platform in a very succinct, simple manner. It ensures that your project is presented in best practice format, which enables decision makers at ASX and TSX listed entities to provide decisions fast. And what that means is it means that we can share a lot of the capital that's being raised in Australia. Last year in Australia there was, between the TSX and the ASX, there was over $9 billion raised for small to intermediate companies seeking exploration money. So it's an incredibly competitive market getting access to the dollars. So what we need to do is we need to provide proper exposure to the Tanzanian projects. And in order to do that, our platform enables you to get your project live onto a platform in a matter of minutes, and then we promote your projects to about 10,000 very key decision makers across the ASX and TSX. These are board directors, company managers, senior executives, stockbrokers, financial institutions, all that have the know-how, the expertise, and the capital backing to take these projects from grassroots, from being seen, and enable them to sit in a development path which we call the Lasonde curve, which enables you to raise money through all different key resource catalysts along the way, from your first mineral resource estimate right through to production phase.
Right. When African countries are adding value on the minerals that they have, what effect will it have in the international market? Is it a positive one, or somehow the market price will shake?
Look, it's an interesting comment. I think the supply and demand operates across all commodities, and fluctuations happen enormously across all commodity cycles. I think, proper, good quality projects that are produced, with diligence and with the right infrastructure, there will always be a market for it. More specifically, gold, for instance. We're aware that Perseus Mining here are, in the last phase of taking their fantastic resource and reserve through to production over the next couple of years. Unfortunately, in Tanzania, there hasn't been any production assets that have come online for about 17 years. And so the market is enormous. I don't think demand is slowing for critical minerals. And so, no, to that effect, I think there is most certainly a market for more projects to come online in Tanzania.
And exchanging views with the ministers, African ministers here, what are you hearing from them? What are they saying in terms of moving forward?
Interestingly enough, I just had a discussion with both the Minister of Tanzania Mining and also the Minister of Kenya, and similar to what we view is they're very keen to unlock the value that they have here. And unfortunately, the system that currently we operate in is quite an arcane one, in that there's no true marketplace for buyers and sellers to exchange information in real time in a readily available platform. And so the discussion I had then with the Minister of Kenya was along those lines. You know, how do we get exposure? How do we get these projects to market? You know, how do we compete in an incredibly tense an incredibly tight market, chasing for funds? And so the best way we can do that is by giving them the proper exposure they need.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.